I did vote for Mr. Trump.
Okay, what happened?
Deporting the criminals is a great policy. These foundations are poured, ready to go, and we can't even start the construction on them.
Okay.
But we voted for the American dream, and unfortunately, right now, we're not seeing that.
For months, federal agents have been sweeping up workers at construction sites in South Texas.
ICE has raided us anywhere between 10 to 15 times throughout different subdivisions.
Now, work sites across the Rio Grande Valley have ground to a halt. And that's got some Trump supporters in this midterm battleground changing their minds.
These people would just show up to our job sites with no warrants, taking all our workers, even the workers with proper documentation.
And whose fault is that for voting for this?
I've supported Mr. Trump in every election that he's been a part of. We just never thought that this would come and affect us in the construction industry, but most importantly, affect our economy here in South Texas.
You voted for this 3 times, and now you're shocked? Oh, Mario, it sounds like you're upset because it's personally affecting you and your money.
So we were going to build 196 apartments here in a year, but because of all the ICE raids and all the enforcements that we've been seeing, it's going to take us 3 years now to go ahead and finish this development.
Oh, too bad. You voted for it 3 times. That's your fault.
I hope they realize that this is really, really affecting us, and it's affecting the way that we feel towards the administration.
Oh, Mario, this is like the 3rd video I've made about you, and what I will say to you is that as a content creator that specializes in FAFO type of content, I do really have to thank you because you're honestly the gift that keeps on giving. The fact that you said that you did not expect to see this happening to you guys is like saying that chickens did not expect Colonel Sanders to come after them. And I know I'm being a little bit mean towards you in this video, so I'm gonna actually do something really, really nice to you. I'm actually going to dedicate a song to you, just to remind you how your 3-time vote is affecting you personally.
Raise your hands, come on! Raise your hands!
But anyways, Mario, have the day you voted for. Bye.
It's sounding a lot like the Trumper fishermen need to start a support group with the Trumper farmers.
You know, he pleaded to the people, make America great again. We're tearing America apart right now.
Fishermen here in Cortez, Florida are pissed off with the president who many of them voted for, and they're angry because of skyrocketing diesel prices.
I'm really scratching my head because I voted Republican and most of us in the fishing industry did, and we're not seeing the positives come out of it.
These fishermen are also having to contend with President Trump's erratic tariff policy.
When the tariffs initially went into effect, there was a huge jump in all of our tackle and supplies. And even though the tariff percentages were rolled back a little bit, our suppliers never rolled back their prices.
Man, fuck them fishermen. Yeah, I bet a lot of you did vote for Donald Trump. And where are you now? Your gas prices are through the absolute roof and are cutting into your profits. And like you said, his erratic tariffs, his on again, off again, brought up the price. And now they're not going to bring it down. I saw another person making a video, a small business owner. He said, people got used to the high prices. So when we get that check back from the government because the tariffs were illegal, we're going to keep the money and we're going to keep our prices. They're not going back down because we've now been conditioned to pay it. We've shown we will pay it. This is going to continue to cripple industries just like the fishing market, just like trucking, everything else. The cost of fuel is going to put so many people out of business if it continues to climb because of this war. So fishermen, that's an absolute FAFO. You fucked around and now you are finding out would your vote for Donald Trump really get you.
Welcome to another episode of FAFO, where I bring you stories of MAGA voters who have entered the find out phase of their vote. And here's how it started. And let's time travel back to November 6th of 2024, where this user, who goes by A Simple Man on X, tagged a couple of celebrities the day after the 2024 election. For example, he tagged Mark Hamill and wrote the following: "Bye-bye. Hope bags are packed, so leave the USA. He won. Keep your promise, you rich multimillionaire." He then tagged Mark Ruffalo and wrote the following: "Time back your bags and leave the US. He won. Keep your promise. You can afford another home, multimillionaire." He then tagged one of the co-hosts from the television show The View, Joy Behar. LMAO. He won in a landslide. You lose. Suck it. He tags the TV show The View. Bye-bye Whoopi. He won. Honor your promise to leave the US if you won. He tags, share. He won. So honor what you said and leave the US. Or are you a liar? And he finishes off by saying, I'm going to say it. He won bigly. LMAO. Now let's see who leaves the USA. Well, let's see how a simple man is doing now.
A few moments later.
Because on March 10th of 2026, a simple man, that simpleton, responds to this post on X that says, Susie Wiles, Donald's chief of staff. Do you think she's doing a good job? And he writes the following, Hell no. What has she done? I lost my job, struggling to pay for food and bills, little health insurance, and I'm supposed to say, doing a bang-up job? I voted for the economy and great paying jobs, yet Donald, failing on it, got more conservatives switching to independent. Oh, you simpleton, a simple man. You heard a bunch of catchphrases during the 2024 election, and you got sold a fake bill of goods. And I'm going to assume that you voted to own the libs, and now that you've lost your job and you're struggling to pay for food, your health insurance, and other things, you probably can't even rent the libs. In conclusion, to you simpleton, a simple man, all I do have to say to you is, have the day you voted for. Bye.
For those of you that have followed me for a really long time, I am someone who prides myself on figuring things out. And I have asked for help here and there in the past, not anytime recently, because truly we've been on the path to getting to a really safe place. And we still will. But right now, if I'm being honest, we could use a little help.
That sounds really rough, actually. I've never been evicted, but I've heard that it sucks. But is this also you?
I just want to tell you that America is the greatest place on earth.
That's interesting. Maybe call Mar-a-Lago. Ask if they got any money for you.
Hello and good evening. Listen, in another episode of As the White Hood Turns, I have to be very careful about how I say this, right? Because, I ain't trying to get in trouble. But listen. So by now you've heard that Sid done asked all these European allies and other allies to come over there and help them convince the people or be there to help with the war, to help them get the Straits of Hormuz opened. And all the people said, nah, get somebody else to do it. We ain't coming. Remember how you talk shit about us on the world stage and how you was tough and you was thrown and ally and all of that? They said, no, we not coming. We not coming. Because this is not our war. You didn't get no congressional approval from your own people. So, we need to go talk to some folks and come back. And they said, no, we can't do it. Now, please, nobody come for me in the comments. But I just want to remind MAGA, y'all said y'all didn't need them people. Y'all said America first. And what everybody kept telling y'all, America first is going to be America alone. And now here we are. Right? But, hey, y'all have an opportunity. Y'all can still join up. I hear they still calling people looking for a few good, what I'm saying. And, again, MAGA, it's your turn to shine. Shine bright like a diamond. Y'all don't tell Rihanna I did that. Okay. All right then. Y'all have a good night. Okay, bye.
When did coffee become $22 to $28?
How do you not know? How are you also this guy?
I believe we are living in the time of the greatest leader of my time anyway. I can't look away. Every day is something better and better to look forward to.
But you do not know what you voted for. I mean, tariffs were at the forefront of Trump's plan the whole time. And every economist, even normal people like me who trusted the economists to know what they were talking about, told you that you were voting for someone who was going to worsen the economy and raise the prices on things? How do you not know? How are you MAGA, but you are also surprised that everything is more expensive months into Trump's presidency? That's the part where I get lost. I don't understand how you don't know what you voted for. And unfortunately, that is an epidemic among MAGA voters. They just thought they were owning the libs. They put their hate for people on the left in front of their own economic priorities.
And there it is.
So a couple days ago, I did make a video where I was crying because I was having a mental day. I was struggling. Did I vote for Trump? Hell yeah, I did. And will I do it again if he can make things happen in the next 4 years? Yes. For everybody that wants to set and make fun of me for my weight, maybe you should learn a backstory about somebody before you make comments on their post about how they've never ate a vegetable or a produce in their life. I don't know if any of you haters out there have ever had to be on prednisone or any steroid for long periods of time to keep your organs from shutting down. But I'm making this video so you have something new to make fun of. I sure hope you guys are not raising your kids to bully people. I don't understand. You hate on me because I voted for Trump. I have friends that voted for Kamala. I don't care.
I don't know about you guys, but all I heard in that little response video from her was me, how it affects me, my situation, me, what's good for me and what's good for me. Which ironically was the entire point of me posting the original video of this lady crying on the internet. You only care, ma'am, because it's affecting you. And you didn't care about anybody else or any of the other groups of people that were going to be harmed by this orange person being in the White House. And look, I'm a mom. I don't condone bullying. I don't think anyone should be calling you fat or whatever. But I can understand where people are coming from because you guys can dish it out, but you can never take it. The amount of posts that I make that have just been flooded with comments about my freaking nose ring, about libtard, about this, about that, about every single, my husband must be gay, all kinds of stuff. You guys can dish it out so hard, but you can never take it. And it's honestly infuriating. You're only mad now because people are calling you out for your vote. People are saying to you, just like I did, we can't feel empathy for you because you didn't feel 1 ounce of sympathy for any other group of people other than yourself when you cast that vote. And one last thing I have to say, because I hate this when people like her say things like, well, I have friends that voted for Kamala. I have friends that voted for her. And I don't care. Yeah, because that's just a difference of like pizza toppings, okay? You not liking a certain politician because you don't like this or that policy or whatever. We can disagree on those things. This is not that. You voted for somebody that was going to actively harm other groups of people, and he made no bones about it. He said that. He said what he was going to do, and now he's doing it. And you still voted for that because you thought it wasn't going to affect you. So welcome to the party, ma'am. We don't feel bad.
Damn, MAGA moving out, y'all. MAGA is moving out. If y'all understand the reference, basically there was a MAGA flag that was flying and shit proud as in my neighborhood. I made a TikTok about it. Some people were like side-eyeing me, which I didn't understand. And then like literally like 4 months after Trump won the election, these bitches talking about we need to sell our house. Girl, how the man you put in office and promoting for free in front of your house got you having to sell that shit not even a year later? That's ghetto. And I laugh at it every time because I'm petty. I don't care.
Welcome to another episode of FAFO, where I bring you MAGA followers who have entered the find out phase of their vote. This user on Facebook writes the following: someone please tell me why I should love a country that has turned its back on me and my countrymen. Fuel prices are so high that I'm forced to go bankrupt. Food prices are so high I can't eat, so what is the use? I voted for Donald, but I will never vote again in this stupid, worthless country. On one of my very own videos in the comment section, I found this and screenshotted it for you guys, and it says the following: I voted for Donald and I absolutely regret it. Another user responds by saying, don't, you shouldn't. It's exactly what you voted for. Someone else responds by saying, what made you vote for that man? To which the original poster says, I fell for that lie that he would improve our economy and no wars. I was wrong and I truly regret it. Nathan on X posted the following: why is the White House posting cringe memes of us dropping bombs on Iran after they just boomed up an elementary school full of children? And no, I'm not a L-tard. I'm just a Jan 6er that voted for Donald 3 times, but I didn't vote for this retarded ass shit. Sonia writes this message directly to him, in which we know that he's not going to read, where she writes, Dear Rump, we voted for you 3 times here. Don't make us regret it. Put America first. The average American family can no longer afford to live. Help. This user left a comment responding to Polymarket's post that says the following: Rump announces end of military operations against Iran by the 17th of March. Place your bets. And the commenter says, it better end soon. Voted for deregulation and the market pump. He said, peace through strength. Now my entire portfolio is liquidated because the S&P tanked after the start of the war. I lost $40,000 of my life savings last week. Where is the peace dividend?
I scammed MAGA for 30 bands. I got the money and ran. Charlie Kirk is dead now. So we clap our hands and we do the money dance.
If you ever find yourself asking the question, how did this many Americans buy into the largest con man to ever walk this planet? Just know the MAGA voter base is more likely to buy into scams, more likely to dump their life savings into like AI generated internet girls, or to give their money away to con artists online than any other demographic of people. That's right. And people caught onto this. The creator that I just showed you has been pretending to be a MAGA influencer for the past 2 or 3 years now. His content is not even good. All he does is jump on and say a couple punch lines, puts out a sob story and throws on that MAGA hat, and he's been raking in the dough. $30,000. And this isn't the first person to do this. We also had this young woman who pretended to be Republican, got $150,000 out of the MAGA voter base, and then said deuces, went off and paid her student loans, and took the money to do whatever she wants with it. Even when you go into the comment sections of the guy who got the $30,000, one of the first comments is literally, yeah, back in 2020, I made almost $18,000 on Etsy selling these losers merch. Because everyone has caught on that you guys are so easy to like scam or con as long as it has the word MAGA on it. That's how deep your cult runs. I don't know what to say. I just thought this was interesting and I wanted to show you guys this. I don't even know. I had no one to tell about this, so I wanted to show y'all. What do y'all think? I don't know. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow. You won't see my face again. Thank you.
Why are you mad at Trump right now?
I think this war is a disaster. Disaster. The 3 pillars of the Trump campaign, both in 2016 and 2020, that set him apart from every other Republican and every other Democrat. I mean, for the first time, this is the basket of issues I wanted to vote on. Number 1, the wall, deport illegals, the whole immigration program. Number 2, bring back manufacturing, the tariff stuff. I'm all in favor of that. Our working class in America has been absolutely wiped out. I don't think we need a lot of schlock from China. Why are we building them up? I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with labor unions, but solve the problem of labor unions. Don't just outsource everything we make, either by bringing them here to work cheap, or by having it done over there. And the 3rd pillar was no more pointless war.
Is now the appropriate time to tell all of these Trump supporters we told you so? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of stuff online where people are complaining and saying that they didn't vote for this, and my response is you did. You did vote for this. You voted for this individual who was a felon. You voted for someone who's a racist and a fascist and a megalomaniac. You did vote for this. You're just now surprised that your voting is affecting you because it was okay when it was affecting other people. But now that you're seeing your 401ks diminish or these policies directly affect you, there's an issue with it. But you did vote for this. So I hate to say it. We told you so.
This message is for Donald Trump. Trump, I know you're busy and you have a lot bigger fish to fry. But if we don't get this TikTok situation fixed, to where the conservatives are getting their videos suppressed for no reason at all, we're going to have problems come midterms. I know.
Oh no, lip curl girl's getting low views. Girl, did you ever stop for 1 minute and think, hey, maybe people just aren't interested with your content anymore? Maybe they're sick of all the hate that you spew, or your poorly done lip syncing videos done to artists who have different views than you. Or did you take a minute to look at other content creators who are maybe on the left, you know, the opposite of you, and see if they're being suppressed as well? Because they are. You know what? They're suppressing all of us right now because what do we make people do? We make people think and question things, all right? They don't want to hear from any of us on the left or the right. Because there's one thing that you still haven't figured out. This administration doesn't care about you like they don't care about me. okay? They don't look at you differently because you voted for him, all right? They don't care about any of us. It's like an equal opportunity thing. They got their vote from you, and now they're done. And I really think it's fucking funny that you think that he will actually take the time to do something for content creators on the right on this app. You probably should have thought about your vote earlier than thinking forward for the midterms if they don't do what you want. Threatening to not vote for him if they don't fix TikTok? Girl, that's even pretty pathetic for you. Like, for real. It's probably time for you to look at getting a real job.
I don't blame President Trump for the death of my son because he wasn't the one who pulled the trigger. But I do think that something needs to be changed in that department as far as the pattern of violence or abuse and impunity.
Rachel Ray's son, 23-year-old Ruben Ray Martinez, was killed by an ICE agent nearly 1 year ago here in Texas.
Let me start off by saying that we all know that the death of a child can be one of the greatest losses a parent can suffer. And I am genuinely sorry that this woman is going through that she has lost her son. But I'd also like to point out that her refusal to hold Trump accountable is because then she would have to hold herself accountable. Her refusal to admit that voting for Donald Trump has caused this is because then she would have to admit that she voted for a man who caused this. That would be admitting her role in the death of her son. It is Donald Trump who sets the culture of these deportations. It is Donald Trump who appoints the people in positions of power who go off to head these deportations. It is Donald Trump's responsibility that if he sees that these deportations are being handled in a way that is lawless, to stop and rein in his own administration and say, hey, this is not how we do things. But he's never done that. In fact, he's done the opposite. He's encouraged these people to be as lawless as possible. The Conservative Party has built a culture that harbors this behavior. And none of them call it out. I mean, for crying out loud, if you yourself, as a conservative woman, tried garnering sympathy from the Conservative Party over the death of your son and trying to get them to understand that his death was wrongful, they would laugh at you in your face and tell you, no, your son must have done something to deserve it. That is the Conservative Party that you support. That is the man that you voted for who harbors this behavior within that party. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow. You won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
These Trump supporters in Colorado thought they were owning the libs. Instead, they're stuck drinking radioactive water. In southeastern Colorado, more than 50,000 people need a 130-mile pipeline to replace water that is tainted with radioactivity. The Finish the Arkansas Valley Conduit Act would have given their communities 100 years to pay back no-interest federal loans. It passed the House by voice vote and the Senate by unanimous consent. Just about 70% of the people in southeastern Colorado that needed this pipeline voted for Trump. FAFO, do you think Trump passed that bill? You'd be correct, buddy. Trump said, F my supporters. You guys are going to be drinking radioactive water for the rest of your lives. Trump said enough is enough. Ending the massive cost of taxpayer handouts and restoring fiscal sanity is vital. It's funny he says that, because the new bill would have cost the government less than $500,000. Meanwhile, taxpayers have already put in over $200 million into building the pipeline. Republican Representative Lauren Boebert, who sponsored the bill, feels betrayed. She said, if this administration wants to make its legacy blocking projects that deliver water to rural Americans, that's on them. If they want to, screwing people over and making people's lives worse, especially their own supporters' lives, is already their legacy. She suggested the veto was political retaliation because she had pushed for a vote on releasing the files. That still, by the way, haven't all been released yet. I hope you enjoy the radioactive water, southeastern Colorado. You voted for the guy who decided that you don't deserve anything better. As someone on the left, I feel so owned right now. With my clean water. God, you guys really got me good.
People really realize how counterintuitive the hate that I receive when you can take one look at my page and see that I am doing the work.
Hi, Carter. I know you're not the only one that's leaving MAGA and receiving hate, but I want to point out in a visual way, if we can, on why you're not entitled to forgiveness just because you are deconstructing from your past, which That's great. You're not entitled to anyone's forgiveness. And this is why. Your actions as a triple Trumper, actions that everyone has taken, they are the effect that they've had in this country. So think of it as this blank sheet of paper. This is a blank sheet of paper that now represents our country. And this is what Trump and everything related to him, they're doing. Okay, so it doesn't matter that you are asking for forgiveness, deconstructing all of that. Doesn't change the fact that this is the country now. Like this is the country that we have now. And you can smooth it, you can do whatever you want to it, but it doesn't change the fact that it has created irreversible changes and has actually cost the lives of people. So you are not entitled to forgiveness because this was the cause of what you have done, your words and your actions. We teach this to kids actually, so that they can see the power that their words and actions have on the world around them. So you do need to deconstruct, but it doesn't take anyone's forgiveness in order for you to do that. I hope that helps.
What's up with these diesel prices, Donald?
Yeah.
The pump stopped at $100. I didn't get nothing but half a tank. You want me to start slinging ass on the street or what? Why don't none of these wars ever affect anything that don't matter? Like the sell of broccoli or something. Let's all be nice now. Ain't nobody trying to put $500 in their truck a week.
In the last election, who did you vote for?
I'm embarrassed to tell you.
One resident who would be impacted by Medicaid cuts is 64-year-old Irma Arredondo, who voted for Trump in 2024. Irma has several chronic health issues, including type 1 diabetes. She's also a full-time caregiver for her daughter, who has cerebral palsy, and her sister, who has Turner syndrome. So you, your sister Irene, and your daughter Valerie, you're all on Medicaid.
I won't be able to afford it. So we feel hopeless. I feel like this happiness in the back.
Can you help me unpack this? Can you give me your input? Because I do not understand how the fuck this happens. Like, I get it if you're an able-bodied person and you don't think it's going to affect you and you're just selfish, that's fine. But honey, these people, this woman, her sister, her daughter, they are on the front lines of the first people to be affected by Trump's policies. She, her sister, and her daughter all have debilitating chronic illnesses, debilitating diseases. And they voted for Donald Trump, and now they're scared and they're crying and they're worried about the cuts, that they won't have access to their health care. And I'm like, girl, the only reason you have access to that health care in the first place is because the Affordable Care Act, who was given to you by a Democrat, by Obama. I don't understand. And she says she voted for Donald Trump because she's a single issue voter who was worried about abortion. And I'm like, girl, you could still be against AB and just not get one underneath a Democrat instead of trying to police other people and still have your health care at least. And what's wild is at the end of this interview, she was asked if she could go back in time and vote for the other candidate, would she? And she said no. She said she would vote for neither. It is so hard to have sympathy when that is your mindset. I just don't understand that. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow. Please let me know what you think that happened here because I just don't get it. Goodbye.
So I want to make a point about why Trump and Republicans are so screwed. But before that, I want to talk about a little MAGA town that screwed itself, like big time. Now, this is a town, as Fox News would tell you, in the heartland of America, flyover country. This is the kind of town that Donald Trump spoke to. The forgotten man is another phrase that Fox News likes to use a lot to describe these people who have been forgotten by Washington and who Donald Trump came along and spoke to and who fights for, and oh, they all love him for it. This is a town named Lexington, Nebraska. Now, I've never been to Lexington, but I bet you if I had been there in November of 2024, I would have seen a lot of MAGA signs, a lot of Trump signs everywhere. Probably a lot of pickup trucks with Trump flags flying off the back, maybe some derogatory bumper stickers about Sleepy Joe Biden, you know, that kind of stuff. Certainly a lot of Trump yard signs. I wonder how many of those things I would see today if I went to Lexington, Nebraska. Anyway, I have an article here from the Associated Press. I want to read a little of this for you. Here's the headline. Tyson Foods plans to close a major Nebraska beef plant. Let me read just a little bit so you can see how Lexington, Nebraska is being royally screwed by the guy they voted for. In fact, they overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. So keep that in mind as I read this. How overwhelmingly, you ask? Well, 75% of the people who voted in last year's election voted in Lexington, Nebraska for Donald Trump. 75%, because remember, he fights for them. Tyson Foods' decision to close a beef plant that employs nearly 1/3 of residents in Lexington, Nebraska, could devastate the small city and undermine the profits of ranchers nationwide. So this doesn't just affect Lexington, Nebraska, but as we have seen in many stories that we've had this year about farmers and cattle ranchers, these people are taking it up the tailpipe by the guy that they overwhelmingly supported. And many of them will still tell you that they support, even though they're getting screwed. Never said they were a smart bunch. Closing a single slaughterhouse might not seem significant, but the Lexington plant employs roughly 3,200 people in the city of 11,000 and has the capacity to slaughter some 5,000 head of cattle a day. Tyson also plans to cut one of the 2 shifts at a plant in Amarillo, Texas, and eliminate 1,700 jobs there. Together, those 2 moves will reduce beef processing capacity nationwide by 7 to 9%. Consumers may not see prices change much at the grocery store over the next 6 months because all the cattle that are now being prepared for slaughter will still be processed, potentially just at a different plant, not in Lexington. Sorry, guys. But in the long run, beef prices may continue to climb even higher, caused by a variety of factors from drought to, you guessed it, tariffs. Unless American ranchers decide to raise more cattle, which they have little incentive to do. The prices are going to continue to go up unless American ranchers decide to raise more cattle, which, because of the economics involved, they have little incentive to do. Thank you.
What do you think about gas prices, Mother?
I don't have a problem with gas prices.
So you're fine with them being high as long as it's under Trump?
No, because they're really not high to me.
So you think they're...
I lived through the Obama era.
You think they're going to go any higher?
$5
Well, I know, but
a gallon.
Trump's main thing was that the prices were going to go down, and now they're only going up and not going to go down to at least 2027.
He's getting
Temporarily?
ready to release.
Definitely not.
So how are we, the people that voted for Donald Trump, supposed to continue to support him when his name has been mentioned 5,000 times in these files that have been dropped?
We're going to play this video in full. But first, we have to fact check her in real time. Check this out. It wasn't 5,000 times that his name was mentioned. It was 38,000 times across the files, including mentions of Trump, Melania Trump, Mar-a-Lago, and related terms. It's mind-blowing. Did you really have to see the files to know? All the pictures with him and Jeff. All the pictures with him, Jeff, Ghislaine Maxwell, Melania. All those pictures with them together. The videos with them together. That wasn't enough. I guess I'm going to have to do it. I told you so. We told you so. Before I show my audience your video, I want you to know something. You were used. Not only by him, by MAGA. You were used. Let me show you how I know. This is how I know. They never cared about the children. This is what they cared about. And I'm going to read this to you. From App Patriot Girl. I don't know about you, but I voted for retribution and revenge. I voted for Trump to crush the left so badly that they are afraid to show their faces in the light of day. I voted for swift, vicious justice and no mercy. It's a good thing that I'm not God, because hell would be a lot more crowded right now. It was never about the children. No, not about the children. We knew that. We knew that. It was always about revenge. Swift, vicious revenge. They don't care what they do as long as they own the libs. It's a sickness. And you were used by them. Your intentions were pure. Your intentions was to save the children. All the stuff they put in your head about the Dems and what they did to the children, or what they said they did, was bullshit. It's always been on the other side, on the side that you voted for. Now, knowing this, let's watch your video.
So how are we, the people that voted for Donald Trump, supposed to continue to support him when his name has been mentioned 5,000 times in these files that have been dropped? Honestly, I'm a little bit shocked at how people from my party, I'm a conservative, I have conservative values, voted for Trump, etc. How are we making excuses for Trump? I'm truly baffled because he wasn't convicted. I mean, how do you get your name mentioned that many times? I think it's time that we hold these people accountable that are doing these disgusting things to children. Irregardless of who you voted for, what you support, we can call something bad that is bad and still be conservative, you know? Just because we criticize a particular person or people, that does not mean that we're like some leftist liberal, you know, they're calling the Epstein files a Democratic hoax. How is this a hoax?
Now, I know my smart followers and smart subscribers, their ears squealed when you said irregardless. It's just regardless. You could fix it. You could fix it by voting blue in November, in the midterms. You could fix your vote. You could save the children by just voting blue in November. I used to be conservative just like you too. I used to be fed the bullshit just like you. Until one day I said, they're lying to us. And then I changed. I went from conservative Republican to independent. The Republican Party used reverse psychology on you. They used it on you to vote for them. So everything that you actually hate right now is actually the right. Stop being a Momo. Open your ears, open your eyes, and do the right thing.
This MAGA influencer found out the hard way. A right-wing Brazilian influencer named Junior Pena told his hundreds of thousands of followers that he loved Donald Trump. He also made videos claiming Trump's immigration crackdown only targeted crooks. He told other immigrants not to worry about ICE. Then, ICE agents detained him in New Jersey and sent him to a detention center. He now faces deportation. His violent and horrific crime? He missed a court hearing. Thank God they're only going after the worst of the worst, am I right? Pena has lived in the US since 2009. He built his brand supporting Trump and echoing far-right talking points. Now the political side he has praised is more than likely going to deport him. Oops! Left-wing Brazilians flooded his page with comments like, "You supported Trump, and in the end, you suffered the consequences." Pena's friends are now asking for prayers. And honestly, FAFO and I, we're going to say a prayer for him too. If you want to join along, you can. FAFO, bow your head. Dear Lord, please make sure Junior Pena gets the treatment he supports. Amen. U.S. cattle ranchers are finding out the hard way. President Trump just signed an executive order quadrupling beef imports from Argentina. The deal will put an extra 100,000 tons of foreign beef into the U.S. market. I'm sure the people that wear these types of shirts are feeling real stupid right about now. The order is titled Ensuring Affordable Beef for the American Consumer. It claims domestic ranchers can't keep up with demand, so this is needed to lower prices. But the main group representing American ranchers, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, calls it a misguided effort. They say it will damage the livelihoods of American cattlemen and women, while doing little to actually help American consumers in the grocery store. Most of them voted to ruin their own livelihoods. You feel bad for them, FAFO? Me neither. Last October, when this plan first surfaced, their CEO said, they cannot stand behind the president while he undercuts the future of family farmers and ranchers. On True Social, Trump said the only reason why they've done so well recently is because of his tariffs, and that before him, they were doing terrible. Just another blatant lie from the president. But these cattle ranchers will keep voting for Republicans, won't they? What a bunch of morons.
Oh, well. No fancy intro to this video. We're going to get directly in the tea because there was a headline yesterday that reminded me of some tea that I did not pour for you. And when I tell you it's juicy and it's salacious news, baby, I'm about to eat. Like, literally. Yes, yesterday, this was the headline. No Trump pick as deadline locks in for Texas Senate race. The pedo-in-chief's decision not to weigh in before the deadline means both John Cornyn and Ken Paxton remain on the ballot, extending their costly and increasingly personal battle into a May runoff. Now, I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, how is this going to be a salacious news story? Baby. It's almost so good I don't even want to pour it for you. I want to keep it to myself today. But either way, I'm going to try my best to say what I need to say. So we already know about Ken Paxton. We already know that he's currently going through a divorce. His wife is stating biblical reasons for the divorce, meaning he committed adultery. Yeah, that's not that salacious in and of itself, because that's pretty normal for the GOP crew. They're cheaters, even though they try to put the 10 Commandments in our schools. But let's talk about the Cornyn dude. You see, currently, instead of Paxton or Cornyn working for their constituents, they're trying to get praise for the orange man today. Yeah, they're doing everything they can to get him to look their way and boost them up in their little election play. But it's not working out for them today. As you can see, the headline read, pretty clearly, he hasn't threw his hat into the ring on who he wants to back, boo. But back to the Cornyn dude. So, No Grace Nancy Mace was on the Twitter streets bitching. And so was the rep Anna Paulina Luna. You know, the girl that used to be on a poll. You didn't know? Oh, that's salacious in and of itself. Yes, Miss Luna used to be a pole dancer, and apparently she did the right kind of dance for the right kind of Congress guy and Donna too, and now she's in the fucking federal government representing people, boo. Yeah. Hoes everywhere. Hoes everywhere. Anyway, that's not what this cup of tea's about. I'm just so excited. So they tried to pass a bill up there on the Hill, which was a bill that I agree with, a bill that would disclose to the public all the people in Congress who have used that special fund to cover up their proclivities, hon. Yes, you know when Congress members put their hands where they shouldn't be on their assistants and stuff, baby, or other people out here in the streets, and then they use a special fund to pay off the people that they touched wrong or make it go away, hun. Yeah, No Grace Nancy Mace wanted that to be public information, baby. She wanted the people to see. And that's something that I actually do agree with No Grace Nancy Mace, even though she done all of this for performative action, because she still believes in the pedo-in-chief not being a fucking rapist today, even though he's adjudicated. Anyway, they took to the Twitter streets bitching day after day, both the poll hoe and No Grace Nancy Mace, about how nobody in Congress wanted to pass this little bill, about everybody's into their cheap thrills and the taxpayer paying to cover it up. You want to know one of these Congress members who used that fund to cover up some of his salacious proclivities back in the day? Cornyn. Yes. Apparently, Mr. Cornyn had an affair too. Not with a woman. Apparently, word on the curb today is that Mr. Cornyn had a little bit of an affair with a man. And to make it go away, he used that fund. He paid off the man he slept with taxpayer money. And that's just according to the poll hoe and No Grace Nancy Mace. In the rumor mill, the word on the curb. Baby! I feel sorry for you Republicans in Texas, baby. The GOP don't even attempt to give you good candidates and shit, honey. They don't even try. You got the one guy who, AK Confederate or whatever, who reenacts in his spare time the Civil War where he pretends the Confederacy won, friend. You got Paxton out here cheating on his wife and shit. And then you got Cornyn, who apparently is hiding in a transparent closet, baby. Yeah, they scared. And the orange back don't know what, fat back don't know what to do today. It really don't matter. Because it should have been Jasmine, but either fucking way, Tallarico's gonna mop the fucking floor with either one of them whores. Yeah, it should have been Jasmine though. Anyway, so you got two cheaters. One staying inside of his heterosexuality and the other one experimenting, baby. Only the other one used that little fund that we pay for, hun, to cover it up.
Now, who could have seen this coming? Trump's deportation push is collapsing the economy in a region that voted for him. That's right. Credit Raw America. The Rio Grande Valley went for Trump in 2024. A historic shift in a reliably Democratic region. Less than a year later, the deportation crackdown is gutting the regional economy, and some of the same people who voted Republican are saying so publicly. I don't want to hear shit. Construction has been hit the hardest. ICE has raided job sites and arrested framing, drywall, and stucco crews. One home builder reported ICE had arrested nearly his entire stucco crew in a single operation, and he has been unable to replace them. Darn. A flooring sales manager said he had his inventory sitting in a warehouse with no one left to install it. Who'd have thunk it? A real estate investor is reconsidering the purchase of 100 residential lots, fearing workers won't be available when construction starts. The president of the South Texas Builders Association has said plainly, this will put us out of business if it continues. The association's executive director went further, saying the fallout is already shifting the political landscape. In his words, I can guarantee you the valley will never be red again, at least not anytime soon. About 23% of Texas construction workers were undocumented, with the valley percentage considerably higher. The White House says apprenticeships and visa expansions will help fill the gap. The builders operating there say that is not the reality that they are living. All of this could have been avoided. All of it. It costs the U.S. more money to detain and deport immigrants than it does to give them a fast track to citizenship. None of this has anything to do with safety. The regime wanted to flex its muscles, as incompetent as it is, and cruelty is the point. As these fine, upstanding citizens have reported. Let me know what you think in the comments. See you next video.
California farmers are raising the alarm that the plans of President-elect Elon Musk and his First Lady, Donald John Trump, to deport immigrant workers might significantly hinder those farmers' ability to harvest the crops that they grow and might eventually lead to these farmers being ruined. Only here's the thing, those farmers supported Donald Trump during the election. Now, if you're a Trump supporter, probably thinking, well, I'm not a California farmer. Here's the thing, those farmers create 50% of the produce that's sold here in the United States. And now if you combine their inability to grow that produce with tariffs on imported produce, what the hell do you think that's going to do to your grocery prices? I'll give you a hint, they're going to go through the fucking roof.
So what the hell are you crying about? Oh, this is what you voted for. He's doing exactly what he said he would do. And now you're out here crying, but I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for I do feel sorry for those of us who understood the assignment, and we're still gonna find out anyway.
The FAFO stories will be never ending, and I love that. I'm sorry to say it, but I really love that, because to see people realizing they effed up in real time is just so satisfying to me. I don't seek happiness in learning of other people's misfortunes just on a general level, but when people had the information to make a reasonable and sound decision to avoid all of this, and they chose not to because of, number one, racism and not to mention a whole lot of other factors, then I'm sorry, people do have a right to call it out. And they do have the right to call out the fact that they should be held accountable for their actions. Now, at the end there, Christina with the poll hole that actually sent me to the moon. Oh, that was hilarious. But this is something that I sometimes forget to mention myself, is that a lot of these holier than thou, ultra conservative Christian Republicans, they will always want to seem like they are so perfect when they're presenting themselves on TV, trying to say that this is like the reason why America is the way that it is. Oh, we have to stop it before it gets worse, when they are the number one people partaking in said thing behind closed doors. How are you having an affair with a whole man, sir? Please tell me that. And I believe it, because I'm sure there's a lot of Republican people. There may be a few Democrat people. I can't lie. You never know what's going on in the government these days, but they always want to present themselves as being, this is what the American family should be about, a man and a woman. Oh, if you love a person of the same sex, then you are not with God. You should be, you should be shunned in society. When on the low, look at what they're doing. And on the taxpayers' dime, a lot of the facade of what they like to put up in the forefront is just all a scam, and it's all a lie. That's why we're in this position, because all of these politicians and Trump, all of them want to present like they're for you when they're really not. It's all about greed and trying to see how much money they can get out of something. And as I mentioned in my video from last night, it's kind of starting to sink into me that there's going to be another Trump, y'all. I really just feel it in my bones, because I feel like whether he dies in office or if he is able to end his term, I don't know. But I feel like there's somebody is waiting in the background to take his place, because they realize the grift and how much money you can make from this is so strong. And once Trump is out of office or dies, whatever, what are all the MAGA influencers going to do? Where are they going to go? So I just feel that it's probably someone is going to take his place, whether it be somebody we already know in Washington, or if it's going to be just some random person that comes out of nowhere, as that could be the reality of what we'll have to face when this is all said and done in 2028. As of right now, I am relishing in the fact that a lot of people are finding out the hard way, the error of their ways in doing that. Now, you have the right to vote for who you want. Not everybody is going to vote for one person. It's impossible, right? But you had the history of his first term, knowing how he is, and you decided, okay, yeah, let's sign up for this again. He gave you a detailed handbook in what he was going to do, but you thought that, oh, that's not going to apply to me. That's for those people over there. And yet you're finding out that no, you are not the exception to the rule. You are going to be impacted by all of his BS-ery as well. And I feel bad that some people are a little bit harsh in how they want to hold you accountable, but I still feel like it's right to do so. When the man at the beginning who has the construction company, I don't know if he said he was the owner or whatever he was, but he said, oh, I didn't think that would apply to us here in construction. He said the quiet part out loud, or was it really quiet to begin with? And now look at how not even their company, how just construction in general is being impacted by all of this, but they want us to just feel sad because they can't get an apartment complex finished in whatever you said a year, and now it's going to take 3 years. Yeah, you should have thought about that when you knew that the majority of all of your employees weren't citizens. It's not that hard to comprehend. But yet you thought, oh, he's going to be worried about the quote unquote criminals. That's what everyone says, the criminals. What was going to stop him from trying to come after just anyone else just trying to make a living, an honest living out here? But yet here we are, and now this is what you're facing. Now you had to file for bankruptcy. It's just something that y'all are gonna have to realize. I'm sorry, y'all could be mad, and you can say that there are people on the left who have FAFO'd as well, because there are people, because I come across them whenever I do these videos of like Democrats losing their jobs because of whatever they posted on social media. And it is something to be mentioned that you should always be mindful of what you post. That's why I like to be careful about what I say, even for myself on here, because, you know, the internet is just a crazy place. But that's because y'all are reporting it. Now, I can't stop somebody from reporting it, but y'all are finding out through your own livelihoods and how it's being impacted by your own government, which you put into place. I don't think anybody getting fired will make you seem like less of a FAFO, in my opinion. Now, I mean, it sucks to lose your job, but I don't know, when you aren't able to afford your medication because you chose to vote for this man, that's even worse in my book, because that's, again, your livelihood. If you can't afford your medications and to go to the hospital when needed, then that's your actual life being impacted. I've been seeing this creators who says she's no longer MAGA, but now she's upset because people are holding her accountable. But yes, you have to realize, which I think it's great when someone who was former MAGA and they are seeing the light. I think that's a good thing. But you have to realize that in no matter what the situation, even outside of politics or what side you fall on, no one owes you sympathy, unfortunately. I know you want to be like, hey, look at me, I realize that I'm the one that effed up. But when you voted for this 3 times and now there's no other way to get out of it, this is his second term. Like, why do you want like so much sympathy? People are definitely going to take you to task and hold you accountable for that, because this is why we're in this predicament that we are now, because you should have done the research and the questioning beforehand, because we could have all saved ourselves from this situation. I think it's good when people like realize like, hey, I'm being scammed here. Just like the one guy and I've always had the feeling that that guy was not being for real, but I think I probably used a video or 2 of his, and it's true. They are so easy to get over on them, because anything you tell them, they're like, oh yeah, okay. And they don't think to like look into anything. Look at all of the people making money off of faking being MAGA. I mean, you could fake really being anything and making money off of it, but the fact that the young lady was able to pay off her student loans off of them, oh, chef's kiss. Oh, I love it. I really, really love it. But who's to know who else is doing this? I guess it'll come to the light when we get closer to his term being over, but it just really goes to show, even with like all of those cryptocurrency things like they mentioned in that clip, so easily gullible to buy into all of that. Because I remember hearing of people that lost like their entire life savings due to wanting to invest in all of that. I don't even get the point in investing in crypto to begin with. I don't even care if it's $1, but I mean, I'm not educated on the topic, so I don't want to speak on it. Maybe it is like a legit thing. It's not going to stop, and it's only going to get worse from here. Now we're in a whole war. The other countries are like, I'm not helping you in this war. You started this. And as they should say this, and we deserve that. Let Trump figure it out on his own. But anyway, you guys, that's all I got to say on this. It's just amazing to see more and more people are learning the lesson the hard way. But I hope you guys enjoyed this volume 3 of the FAFO stories. I hope you were able to seek a little bit of vindication through one of these. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching if you've made it this far. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hype. I need to start including that. I know most people aren't always able to hype for every video, because I think they only give you a certain amount. But hype if you can. That would really greatly help out the channel. And I would, of course, appreciate it as well. But anyways, thank you so much once again, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye. See ya.